Hi everybody. Now we're going to move on to using Publisher to plan your pages and be creative with things like word art and to design what each of your spots on the template will look like. So here are our blank pages and we need to start creating the look for our board once we've done all of our research. One of the things that you can do is use word art, and I would guess most of you are pretty familiar with word art, but the word art tool here is on the insert ribbon, and you can pick any of these font styles or any of these shapes to get started. I think I'm going to pick this one, and say one of my 4 topics that I've been assigned is the government of the country. So I'm going to type in the word government and click OK. And here I have a lovely piece of word art. And I can do any number of things with this word art to think about the design of my page. I have some choices up here under the shape fill. Remember that color is not going to print here at school. So I could maybe choose to pick a texture, or maybe I want to jazz it up with a pattern. And I can change these to black and white. Actually, that one already, oh no, it's not. I can change them to black and white because I know that's how they're all going to print. Maybe in this case I'd like a brick pattern. And then I can come up here and change the outline. We'll make the color black. And I can come down to the weight of that line and make it a thicker line if I'd like to, so it stands out. I can also come up here and let my cursor turn to that circular arrow, and that allows me to twist and place my title wherever I'd like it to go. And keep in mind, you are creating something that we want to be visually interesting as people come to the culture fair at the end. And so go ahead and work on creating something that is visually interesting. Okay? I think I'm going to leave this kind of at an angle across the top here. And remember when I said you could place things over in the gray area? If this page wasn't the one I wanted to use for government, I could drop it over here into the gray area. Did you see how it disappeared from page 1 here? If I click down here on page 3, so it's green, so it's the active page now, and then I could slide the word government back onto that page. And now it shows up over here. Okay, so that's how you can use the gray space to design and move things from page to page where it's necessary. Okay, so that is how you can design with word art. The other thing you might think about doing is having more generic titles than word art, and that's just simply inserting a text box. So say I wanted to put a text box up here on page 1, I can draw a text box in. I just clicked on the word text box. It allows me to draw it in. I do have some word art styles here as well, so this is another way to do it. I like this one with the shadow. One of my other topics is religion. So I'm going to type that in. I realize the font is really small, so I'm going to come up here and change my font size so that it's readable. Again, that's coming in a blue color. It will not print in that blue color, so I'm going to come change it to black and get the shadow underneath that way. Okay? I think with this I can even make it bold if I wanted to. With a text box, you can add a line around the outside of it. You have 2 toolbars up here. One is for formatting the text box, and one is for formatting the line around the text box. So if I click on Drawing Tools, I have some frame choices. So maybe I want to put this title in a double frame instead. I can do that, and I can change the weight of that, or I could make it dashes and do all sorts of stuff with my frame there. Okay, so you can again be creative and make sure that what you're working on is visually interesting. because in the end it's going to get put up on a board that lots of people are going to see. I would be careful about being too creative. Keep in mind, and you should work with your group mates on this, if you decide on too many different patterns and styles, your board's going to look chaotic. So you might want to pick and choose carefully. Maybe you all want to use the same style of word art to make sure that your board looks like it goes together. Or maybe you all want to use the same kind of a text box with a different style of word art and a border. But make sure that it all goes together because you're all putting your stuff together on one board. And again, too many different styles looks a little crazy on a board, so you don't want that. Okay, that'll be the end of this lesson, and in the next lesson we'll talk about adding images and things like that. Okay, thanks and see you in a bit.